What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today, as you can tell by the title of the video, we're kind of going to be going over some tools and kind of things that I've discovered along my way of collecting and, buying action figures. Kind of how to better collect action figures. And what do I mean by that? Specifically, kind of going to be going over the decision making process when buying a figure, right? And this isn't something to be taken super seriously. This is just some advice that I've kind of, some of the things that I've kind of come to realize that have helped me get a lot more joy and happiness out of collecting when I've applied these things to my journey, right? Everything's very subjective. Some of us are able to buy pretty much whatever we want, even whether we enjoy it or not. But if you're like me, I'm very economic when it comes to this kind of things. I don't like buying figures that I don't like. I hate wasting money on things that I don't like because it takes away from things that I could be buying that I would enjoy a lot more. Right. So, kind of three things that I want us to keep in mind, or you guys, or just things that I'm going to talk about is price, timing, and focusing what you buy. Right. So, kind of the first thing that I'm going to talk about is kind of the differences in pricings. Right. And so, unfortunately, when something costs a certain price, there's very little you can do about it. If an item's 69.99, it's 69.99, and it's very very tough to get it for cheaper anywhere else, because if you're getting it cheaper somewhere else, chances are you have to pay for shipping. It's going to take a lot longer to get to you, which, if that's not an issue for you, by all means go ahead. um, but for the most part, you can't really change it, right? So what are some of the things that you can do for pricing? Although they're not really like, you can't really change the price. There is some places that offer a better price than others. It's very marginal, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, ounces turn to pounds, kind of deal. So one example that I'd like to use is this 3 pack of the Unk Val General Eliminator Squad. So I was able to snatch this back when it went up, and I'm like beyond excited when I'm telling you guys. I think these, alongside the Beast Deities Broly, I think these have the potential for being number one this year. Like, definitely top three. If the QC, by God, I hope that the QC is great. These have been like getting teased for like 2-3 years now. So I've been keeping my ear to the ground, and I was able to snatch these, and I had to get all three because they're just beautiful. They're amazing. I mean, look at the amount of stuff you're getting. We're not gonna get too deep into it, but so if you guys were able to read that, full price is 250 minus my $15 deposit is about 235. I don't know if they're gonna charge me for shipping or not. I got the Joy Toy Ninja Turtles from them, and I didn't get charged shipping, so I think that's just what it's gonna be, the 235. So they're 250 right here, right? That was the price. Whereas over here on Hobby Link Japan, they're 345 USD plus shipping, and I assume this is gonna be pretty heavy. So you're looking at about $30 to $40. And now I know I kind of sound like I'm biting my tongue because I said, or not biting my tongue, but having to eat my words because I said there's not really a difference in pricing. Well, this is a very unique scenario. I was just looking into this before I started the video, but for whatever reason, they're like, $80 more on here. So I would strongly encourage you guys. I'm not affiliated with Bombas B at all. Like, they don't sponsor me or anything, but this make me like them even more because I saw these guys go up on Gundam like years ago, but it was like a $1 deposit because they hadn't even showed prototypes yet. It was literally just like the stock image. Um, and so I just canceled that because it was like a year ago, and I was just like, oh, I guess these are never coming out. And then finally, I heard they were actually going to be going up. And the first website I saw had them was Bombas B. I checked these guys regularly for like more niche, kind of third party ish figures because they have a lot of that stuff. And I snatched them, and we're here now. But Hobby Link Japan, in my opinion, is kind of like the big bad toy store for Japan. Yes, they sometimes they'll have it cheaper, But for the most part, Hobby Link Japan and Big Bad Toy Store are kind of on the back end of the pre-orders. Usually they get them later, and usually they're like higher priced than if you get them on something like Hobby Genki or Bombas B or 5K Toys, you know. And yeah, so I would say that's kind of the only thing that I could really advise as far as pricing. And then real quick, let me see if I'm able to pull it up. Um, so like recently, I've been really into the Joy Toy Warhammer line, and I actually want all three of these figures. Like I've done research on all of them. I was actually debating. If you can see here, I'm not lying. I posted this 5 days ago, and I had this guy up and running. I did end up getting this guy, but I still want this figure. And then someone in the comments was able to help me out and showed me this bundle. So I'm probably gonna end up getting this now. And these each are at about a $40 to $50 price point. I'm pretty sure this Lazarus figure is $52.99. Yeah, there he is, $52.99. The Jump Pack Captain, the Ultramarine one, is like 45, and then the Emperor's Champion, I'm pretty sure is also 45. So just round it up, get a whole number. It's about $150 to $160 with taxes and everything for if you were to buy these individually. And if I buy them all together in this 3-pack, I'm only paying about minus the $8. It's about $102 with taxes. Let's just say it's like $108. So I'm getting like pretty much $50 to $60 off, depending on how much it would be to buy these individually, with shipping and taxes and everything. I'm saving that money. So I would strongly encourage, when it comes to pricing, just try to keep an eye out, like keep your ear to the ground when it comes to these releases, especially pre-orders. And then when it comes to figures that are already out or may have been out for a little bit, like I'm pretty sure these were released all like last year or earlier this year. A lot of times you can find like bundles, or maybe they might be, there might be a website online that has a lot of them, and you can just get them cheaper. And sometimes, like, this is directly the manufacturer Joy Toy website, and sometimes they have like really good deal. Like if we click on here, click all deals, it's not a huge saving, but it is something, right? Like 280, you're saving 10% here. So if you want a pack of 5, it's 250. That's about $50 per. These are, I think they're like $65 each. So you're saving a lot of money there. You're saving like $5 here. So sometimes it's better to just wait for some deals and then just do some research, and you might be able to get a better deal. But then kind of the next thing that I wanted to talk about is timing. Timing is very important, and what do I mean exactly by that? I'm pretty much referring to just the word itself, timing. Okay, like I was saying, with pre-orders, there may be a lot of FOMO behind it, but there's actually no FOMO. Like we recently saw that with the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man, and if I search it up, I'm sure I'm gonna find like 20 websites that have it. People were like, "Oh, if you miss out on this, you're gonna miss out on a lifetime." Like, let's see. He's available right here. He's available on Big Bad Toy Store, GameStop, Hasbro Pulse, even though he sold out at Hasbro Pulse first. So, when it comes to timing, it's something that I really can't, give concrete advice on, just because it's so volatile. It's very hard to predict on what's going to sell out and not. But I would say, from what I've been able to gather from the couple years that I've been collecting, is a lot of times unique figures with unique sculpts and third party figures, those are usually the ones that you want to have a little bit of FOMO on, because like this guy, I'm not going to click on them because it has my personal information, but basically I ordered these two, right? It was the Mythos anime, like Sun Wukong figures, and I got two of the versions of the character, right? And honestly, it was available all day yesterday. Like I checked, like at 11 p.m. on Sunday. It was March 17th or 16th, sorry, and it was still available like all day. So I'm pretty sure they just like closed pre-orders recently. But like I said, they just closed the orders and it was only available for 1 day. So if I go to featured pre-order, it's no longer available. So you can't get them anymore. So pretty much the only other way to get that is I would strongly encourage you to go on AliExpress and get the one you want because it's only going to go up. There's no way, no, as far as I'm aware, there's no other website besides 5K that does like Beast Deities, Mythos Wukong, or Mythos Anime and stuff like that. So if you missed out on that, the next best thing would be AliExpress, or try to find like maybe there's a website that has them and I don't know about it. But as far as like the main popular ones, like 5K no longer has it. So stuff like that, you have to be very, very good with the timing. And if you want it, don't wait. Just get it. Especially on 5K, it was like $16 or it was like $32 for all four of the figure just deposit. They come out in December, so I have more than enough time to save up money and be able to buy all of them. And overall, I like I have ease of conscience now because I'm not worrying about it. Versus if you would have waited and been like, oh, it's going to be available everywhere. It's not really the case when it comes to third-party figures or like figures that are very unique and are going to be hard to get, right? And then kind of the last thing, and this is where I personally can speak a lot on, is focus. So if you're like me, I love action figures. I love all kinds of action figures. Like I pretty much collect everything or was collecting everything up until I would say like about a month ago was when I made like the very hard decision to get rid of pretty much like a good like 30 to 40% of my collection because I wasn't doing anything with it. I don't consider myself a collector. I don't go out and build teams. I don't buy a whole wave of figures just to have all of them because I collect it. Nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't classify myself as a collector in that sense. I like figures that I can grab, pose, and are going to bring me continuous joy, right? Obviously, like now, I'm pretty sure I still have majority of my collection, but all of those figures that I got rid of and sold were to be able to get more figures that I actually enjoy. And then also, I just, like I said, they just weren't bringing me any joy. And the biggest offender for me that I got rid of completely, like pretty much all of them, was Marvel Legends and McFarlane. And I'm not really taking a stance on either. If you really like them, by all means, like like I'm not bagging on you at all. If they bring you the joy that you love and you love these figures, keep collecting them. But for me personally, I just found them always falling short. If a Marvel Legends got a character first, I would get it, and then Mafex made it, I would immediately sell that Marvel Legends and get the Mafex. So why even do it in the first place? For me personally, it was just becoming a waste of time. Like, and a lot of times, let's be real here. Marvel Legends and McFarlane lose their value. If you buy it at 25, it's very, very difficult to sell Marvel Legends, especially on stuff like Mercari or eBay, where they have sales tax. It's very difficult to get that money that you put in initially. And now with taxes and everything, it's like $28 for a Marvel Legends at Target, GameStop, Walmart, wherever you buy your Marvel Legends at. It's about $28 for one of them. And for me personally, like that's just a waste of money because with that, I recently like I love superheroes and stuff. I love Marvel and DC. Like if Mafex makes them, I'm gonna continue to get them. Revoltech, anybody that makes high quality, really good figures that I think personally are worth it, then I'm gonna get them. But like McFarlane and Marvel Legends, I just don't get that joy out of them. I feel like whenever I get a Marvel Legends, I'm getting the same figure. It's like I have like 20 of the same figure on the same body, and I'm getting the same satisfaction that I did on the last three figures that I bought, right? The one thing that I would say that Marvel Legends and McFarlane have over pretty much companies like Joy Toy or Sexy Eyes is that they're super underground company. Even something like let's just look up Mafex is Variety, right? It's gonna be a very long time before Marvel Legends, or it's gonna be a very long time before Mafex and Revoltech and all of them get to like the amount of figures that Marvel Legends and McFarlane put in. And obviously that's because they're much cheaper to produce. Whereas these Mafex figures are expensive for a reason. Um, so for me personally, that's why I decided to make that jump. And for me, the focus part comes in getting what brings you the most happiness. So recently, I've been talking a lot about Joy Toy Warhammer. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just have found myself loving every single figure that I've gotten, and this is with QC issues. I'm not batting for them or anything. I personally have loved every single Joy Toy figure I've gotten. Recently, like I said, I went on Reddit and I put this post. I ended up getting this guy. I'm working on a video for this guy, so just be on the lookout for that. But I've gotten this one. I got the Robute Gilliman, which that reviews on the channel. I got Horus Lupercal. I got the Chaplain and Terminator armor. Like every single Joy Toy figure that I've gotten has been nothing but a blast and very, very enjoyable to pose and overall have in the collection. They have an amazing amount of variety. The lore of Warhammer, like I'm getting very, very deep into it, so that's adding a layer of enjoyment that I'm not getting with anything else. And to be completely honest, one of the biggest reasons why I feel like Marvel Legends and a lot of those are kind of losing the bout to these higher end companies is they're not even really like trying to chase the new stuff. Like I'm kind of shocked that the Ultimate Spider-Man was like one of the best selling comic books of last year, and there's no signs of them making an Ultimate Spider-Man. Or the Absolute Batman from last year was one of the best selling comic books, and there's no sign of McFarlane, making an Absolute Batman, which I think both of those figures would sell like hotcakes. It's kind of funny because this Rat City is like a pretty like new comic book, and there's already a figure for it, whereas Absolute Batman and Ultimate Spider-Man and stuff like that haven't. So I don't know enough. Maybe you guys do, so feel free to let me know. But it's just like things like that is also another like big turnoff. Like I read majority of Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm not up to date on like the newest issue, but I did read like the first like 10 issues of that while it was going, and I really enjoyed it. And while I was reading that, I was like, damn man, I really wish there was like an Ultimate, Spider-Man, Marvel Legends, or Mafex, or whatever. I think that's a problem with every company, but at least right now with Warhammer, I'm reading into the Dark Angels, I'm reading into the Ultramarines, Black Templars, Imperial Fist, all that stuff, and I'm reading the Horus Heresy right now. So all of this is like, damn, it's right here. I'm enjoying it. And these figures are amazing, and they're worth every penny in my opinion. So, and they range. These are like packs and like some of their higher end figures, but something like this is like a probably like a 5-6 inch figure right here, $55, and you're probably like, what the hell does it do? But I mean, just by this, look at the amount of detail. Like there's nothing on that Maximum Series Spider-Man, and I say it because it's pretty much the same price that even touches any of this, right? Comes with the bolter, the sword, the extra hands, extra helmet, unmasked sculpt that actually looks pretty good. The insane amount of detail and shading and unique sculpt and everything. They're probably gonna make like 7 other versions of this, but at least you can say that you have a 100% unique sculpt, right? So with that being said, I don't want to drag this video on for too long. I'm pretty sure we're over the 20-minute mark, so I don't want to go on too far. But if anything, just remember when you're making a decision on what to buy, remember the price. Try to find the best price. When it comes to timing, especially for pre-orders, go ahead and if you really, really want it and it's something that you think is going to be worth it, I would say get it, because it's better to be on the safer side, because a lot of times most websites, like I know Hobby Link Japan, if you do a pre-order, you can get your money back if later on you're like, you know what, I don't really like this figure, I want to spend my money on something else. You could always get your money back. I know I pre-ordered one of these figures and I was like, you know what, I don't know anything about these guys, the book doesn't interest me at all. It would just be like a shot in the dark for me personally, so I just refunded it. But And the third thing is just focus on what you really, really like. If something brings you joy, even if it's not popular or you're not going to be able to get as much of, especially with some of these like higher end figures, more expensive stuff like this 1000 toys Hellboy, just as an example. Yes, it's $155. Personally, I think it's a little bit overpriced, but that's besides the point. Um, you're gonna get a lot more enjoyment out of stuff like this than if you're just buying something because it's kind of popular right now or it's cheaper and you could get a lot more of it. At least that's what I found out, right? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna shut up already. I think I've gone on long enough, but I hope this video helps someone out. And like I said, this is kind of my trials and tribulations have led me to making this video and kind of thinking the way I do. And I hope that this video helps you out in any kind of way. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, please make sure to drop a like, share, subscribe if you like what you saw. Make sure to drop a comment. I'd love to be able to help you guys out or have a conversation down below. But as always, y'all take it easy. Peace.